We have post-SummerSlam injury updates on both Bron Breakker and Gunther. Has Seth Rollins' faction name finally been revealed? And how did the WWE keep Seth Rollins' CashIn a secret? Find out during this video right now. So, of course, SummerSlam Saturday opened with a tag team match. The Brons taking on Jey Uso and his cousin Roman Reigns. After the match, we saw footage from sort of in the crowd, but shooting behind the stage, if you want, of Bron Breakker limping on his legs.
Yes.
Limpy leg Bron. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. We're very concerned about the health and well-being of Bron Breakker. But Fightful Select have an update, don't they?
They do. They said, a Fightful Select reader sent the following to Sean Ross Sapp's team regarding Bron Breakker's injury. I had a photo up with him earlier today. He came in about an hour late and was already limping into the area. They gave him a chair to sit through throughout the session. Also, the person that accompanied him with WWE was telling the workers to speed through the photos upon arrival. Really cool guy. I thanked him for showing up because he definitely didn't have to do that, and wished him a speedy recovery. Knee seemed a bit swollen, and when WWE was asked, a source only indicated that he was going to be evaluated, and they were hoping that it wouldn't, be a really bad injury. So, that's the only update we have really is that it's nothing. They don't think it's anything serious, but they're keeping their fingers crossed.
Or it's a bit too soon to diagnose if it is serious or if it isn't. Yeah. But we do know he's got a swollen knee thanks to that person who wrote in to Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select. Obviously, well wishes to Bron. On the other side of things, obviously Gunther coming out of SummerSlam with an injury as well. However, it looks like he went into SummerSlam with an injury, and the injury was sort of worked in at the finish of his match with CM Punk, just in case you didn't see it. Yep. He was on the top of the announce table. CM Punk pulls the rug from under his legs somewhat. Gunther takes a face bump, and I thought it was really effective how, for the first time, it felt like maybe ever in the WWE, Gunther saw his own blood on his face and was like, what? This isn't how things work.
I was surprised because I watched it and I was like, his head didn't even hit the table. Came up though, bleeding all over the place.
He went waboom like that, Owen.
Did he?
Yes, he went waboom like that.
I don't know about that. But Fightful Select reports that sources we spoke to claim that he was adamant about working through the injury. WWE expects him to eventually miss some time due to it, whether it will be imminently or eventually.
So it was a nose injury that he headed into the show with. Yeah. So if you hear him on Raw tonight go and sound like a bit like, hello, I'm the ring general, there's an injury there and they will get it sorted. But we don't know when it's going to be sorted out.
I thought that it was, again, WWE working it into the storyline. He's not actually got a nose injury. They just put that out there before the match. But no, it turns out he has actually got a legitimate nose injury.
This is the thing now after the Seth Rollins injury. Finally, we don't know whether we can trust the World Wrestling Federation. After all these years of trustworthy behavior, now we don't know whether we can trust them when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. But speaking of injuries, of course, Seth Rollins lied to everybody in the world ever about his knee.
Couldn't believe it. Genuinely, I was shell-shocked because I was in the camp of it's a legit injury. LA Knight wasn't supposed to win. He gets to win at Saturday night's main event. Of course he's injured, but no.
Well, I saw the footage of him hobbling down the street next to his own little daughter using crutches. I was like, they're not going to go that far to cover up this injury, but it turns out they have. We'll get on to how they did that later in the video. However, you might be wondering, after months and months and months of them being together, what is Seth Rollins' faction actually going to be called? And we can, I think, tell you what it is going to be called.
Can we get a drum roll? The Vision.
Whoa!
Because he's the visionary.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
It does, yeah. Fightful Select reports it will be the name of Seth Rollins' faction, but it has been filed as a trademark application by the WWE for wrestling and entertainment purposes.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I like it. It's related to Seth anyway. He's the visionary, always gone by that name. But also, it's almost like the vision of the future with Bron and Bronson. It works.
Do you work for WWE with that kind of analysis?
Yes.
It makes me wonder why it took them so long to announce, or not even announce this, get the trademark application filed.
That's a good point. It's not like the most original name. If it was the Vision, I would have thought they would have used it by now.
Yeah.
But they've obviously been scrambling to come up with some name, and they've landed on this. I don't hate it. I think it fits.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah,
it fits.
Just wondering
I'm
why.
not saying it's the most imaginative name.
They got together just after WrestleMania, of course, and then when I was sat here in August, so I'm only going to imagine it was on something else, and that trademark expired around about this time. So now they've gone, we can put ours in now.
Yeah, it fits, doesn't it?
It does fit.
It fits.
The shoe fits, the sparkly, dazzly shoe. But how did the WWE keep Seth Rollins' CashIn a secret? Nobody knew what was going to go on. It's been called the ruse of the century.
Yes,
and it
turns
turns
out the heist. Now we've got the ruse.
Yeah, 10 years apart.
Yeah.
It writes itself. But if you want to go paragraph by paragraph, we've got a little breakdown of all the different things the company were doing over the last little while to keep this entire injury angle / CashIn a secret. So what's the first one from Fightful Select?
So Seth Rollins Rollins versus LA Knight was ended abruptly due to what looked like a legitimate injury during the match that everyone in the know backstage were told Rollins was slated to win, that being the match against LA Knight. Upon returning backstage, everyone, including many medics and producers, were treating the situation as real. It was kept so close to the vest that even some close to Seth were concerned when they hadn't immediately heard from him following the injury in the match. The next night, Rollins showed up at the Evolution All Women's pay-per-view on crutches, which WWE knew would make its way out onto socials. Images.
They're working the marks up and down the card, even behind the scenes now. Post-Wrestling, Wrestling Observer and Fightful reported that an injury angle was planned for SummerSlam, but the specifics weren't known, and many speculated it was just a rumor at the time.
Yes, and then Fightful Select carried on by saying that the plan for the Seth Rollins cash-in had been tentative since before Saturday night's main event. They add that it wasn't on internal rundowns and staff backstage weren't expecting a cash-in at SummerSlam. It was only during the CM Punk versus Gunther match that speculation began, and again, when Rollins came out post-match, that's when it became clear that the cash-in was happening, which watching it live, I still wasn't sure.
Yeah.
They came out, post with the briefcase, turned around. I thought that was it.
It was like Willy Wonka.
It was like
when Big Gene comes out hobbling.
If only he did a forward roll.
I know, yeah, that's all that was missing.
More forward rolls in wrestling, please.
The final bit of the report says the WWE worked to keep the plan secret, as Fightful Select report. They even worked the trainees at Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Wrestling School. And as we mentioned earlier, Rollins was also appearing on Becky Lynch's Instagram on crutches.
I feel for those trainees. Imagine paying your hard-earned money to get trained by Seth Rollins. And he's like, sorry guys, can't do it. Look at the knee.
Or however, is that the best lesson he could have taught? Always be working, bitches. That's what I'd be saying about Seth Rollins. Always be working.
That's so true, yeah.
But I tell you what,
the biggest lesson of them all.
This will feel weird, me sat here doing a news video on a YouTube channel like this, but I do not mind this entire situation at all.
No, I don't. I like being surprised.
The entire thing about being worked and we've actually been gotten very well is a thing that is a rarity, obviously, in professional wrestling.
Yes, it is.
Easy for me to say.
You've got people like Meltzer and other outlets that thought that this might have been the case, that it was a work, but you still, there were doubts. I thought it was.
There were leaks as well, we should say, but I was along for. I didn't see the leaks before the show personally, so I was along for the ride.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was watching it live on Saturday night, and I was shell shocked when we just pushed those crutches down and just legged it down to the ring.
Aye, keep working the journalists, WWE. Why they're on certain things, of course, not the stuff that we talked about in news video one.
Yes.
That feels a bit weird anyway. We get some future John Cena and Cody Rhodes plans. Cody Rhodes, not John Cena, the other guy. Cody Rhodes is planned to be part of the upcoming live-action Street Fighter movie. Do you know much about this?
No, well, I know about the movie being made, and obviously Roman Reigns is also going to be in the film. I was never a Street Fighter boy. I was always more of a Tekken guy as a kid. So I've not really played much Street Fighter.
I went in the streets and fought with my own fists.
You're a real Street Fighter.
Yes, I am.
On the main streets of Northumberland.
Yes, I
Northumberland
was.
Street. Yeah. For Fightful's Select reports on Cody Rhodes' plans for the upcoming Street Fighter movie, when we asked about whether or not it would interfere with storylines, WWE sources said that they were optimistic that it wouldn't. Cody Rhodes is not expected to be on set for an extended period of time to the point where it would affect the outcomes this weekend, meaning SummerSlam. We've not heard regarding Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then in terms of Big Jonathan Cena, Fightful Select reports John Cena will have 9 publicly announced dates remaining on his retirement tour after SummerSlam, which includes a heavy August. He's scheduled for SummerSlam episodes in Montreal, Ireland, and France, and as things stand, he is only scheduled for 4 more US dates after SummerSlam, but is planned for at least 3 more PLE shows through the end of the year, plus his retirement match, and those dates, those 3 PLEs are unannounced, but he has a scheduled appearance in France. He's on the poster for Clash in Paris, so you assume one of those 3 PLEs will be in Paris.
But also, I'd say now he's a baby face. I think this counting down the dates of, I'm only here for so many days, I don't have to wrestle, that's out the window now, so he could just appear at whatever he can do.
Well, yeah, I assume they're not going to work that into the story anymore, because it's a very heelish thing to do. You've only got me for 17 dates, 16 dates.
But they could work it in saying, this guy wanted to do that, but this guy is here every single chance he can be, schedule pending.
Yeah. Yes,
so there we go. Cody Rhodes, John Cena will be on television. It looks like they won't be missing too much, I should say.
Yeah, it seems like that. Obviously, we don't know how big of Cody's role in the Street Fighter movie will be, but it seems like he won't be missing from TV too much while filming. But as said there by Fightful Select, there's no news about the Roman Reigns situation when it comes to Street Fighter and how long he will be away from TV.
Yes. Thank you for watching this news video. If you haven't seen the SummerSlam content, it's all live. What happened at? A little condensed rundown of both nights' events are on the YouTube channel right now. WTF Moments coming to the Patreon Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning kind of time. The Twitch schedule has been updated. We are going to be live 5 days a week at the very least, and hold and give on top of that, and other things on top of that as well.
Put the picture here. You've got Andrew on Mondays, you've got Ross and Sam on Tuesdays, you've got Sam on Wednesdays, you've got me on Thursdays, and you've got Fraser and Aiden on Fridays. Every day of the week, you got, as Ross said, on Hold and Give as well. So much content.
Yeah.
So many live streams.
We're watching WCPW, me and Sam, telling you stories from behind the scenes from people who are actually there. We can actually say that for once, rather than be on the other side of the fence. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.